So back in the 5th century, a guy named Leucippus, and he had a student named Democritus. They were actually the first individuals to propose that matter was composed of small indestructible particles, and they gave them the name atomos from the Greek word indestructible. Democritus wrote, "Nothing exists except atoms and empty space. Everything else is opinion." So their proposal included the idea that there were many different kinds of atoms in existence. They had different shapes and sizes, and they moved randomly through empty space. This was pretty outrageous in that time. And you've probably never heard of Leucippus and Democritus. You probably have heard of Plato and Aristotle, though. So Plato and Aristotle were contemporaries, and they thought that this was rubbish. They did not believe it. They felt that matter had no smallest parts, it was infinitely divisible, and that matter was actually made up of the 4 elements: fire, air, earth, and water. And because they were more popular, more people listened to them, and science was set back about 2,000 years. There was no way to test these ideas, and so people just had to decide whether they believed it or not. So the scientific approach was established later and became, the scientific method became the way that we study matter and study the physical world. So in 1766, John Dalton was born, and he did a lot of cool stuff. He offered convincing evidence that supported the ideas that Leucippus and Democritus had. He came up with the atomic theory, but it really could not be well tested. Nobody could disprove it, but they didn't really have any evidence supporting it either until 1905, when Einstein explained Brownian motion with the concept of atoms and molecules.